Come the hour.
Okay.
Wait. I don't know what your password is.
Okay.
Consider this. The guy you think slacks off all the time doesn't have any motivation because he's never been personally encouraged. And the girl you think has way too many piercings and tattoos just saved a man's life from a heart attack. We all judge people to help us make decisions, but are we judging them fairly? I know because I've been there, judging people consistently and treating them differently based on those judgments. But I've learned a better way. Through the Iowa Hugh O'Brien Youth Leadership Rally, or HOBie, I was able to get a first-hand look at why judging people is not okay. And I'd like to share that experience with you today. To begin, I believe the environment can be a great tool to help us teach us something. For me, that was HOBie. I was an ambassador at the 2015 HOBie Rally, where I spent the weekend listening to speakers, doing group activities, and getting to meet a bunch of really awesome people. But the great part was the environment. It felt like everyone was there to help each other and that we were totally free to be ourselves, which I think is what led me to realize where I was going wrong. I realized how I have ideas about what makes a person a good person and what makes them a bad person, and that sometimes factors correspond to each of those groups. For example, on the first day, I saw this girl who had way too much makeup, was wearing really high heels, and was just overall way too dressed up. And I'll be honest, I judged her. I thought she was probably snobby and that she was just asking for attention. I looked down on her without even talking to her, just judging her looks and actions. And I didn't realize I'd even done it until later on in the weekend. Moving on, I was able to do a bunch of activities and to learn a lot in the process. The best part was that I realized the truth doesn't always line up with my judgments. On the last night, we learned a salsa dance, had a dance party, and then ended the night with reflections. During reflections, we sang a song, which created a sense of unity and belonging. Next, they passed a microphone around for everyone to share their experience if they wanted to. Some thanked the host, while others shared how they'd found confidence, and others explained how they'd been inspired to follow their dreams. Ironically, the part I remember was when the girl shared her story. She explained how her parents got divorced, how she'd been around alcoholism, abuse, and bullying, and how she went to live with her dad and then her grandma, but eventually had to move back in with her mom because of their death. As she was sharing, I started to feel really guilty about how I judged her without any idea of what she'd been through. She didn't look like it or act like it, but people's stories aren't written out for everyone to see. Reflecting back, this belief can be summed up by Phil Jackson's quote, which says, "Always keep an open mind and a compassionate heart," which I found from brainyquotes.com on October 4th. And I definitely look at people differently now, which has allowed me to find more joy in others. I'm able to catch myself before I judge others, and to remember that there's more than one way a story can go, and looks don't tell that story. I still make judgments, unfortunately we all do, to help us make decisions. But what I've found is that I'm never going to be the one to choose their story. I can think of all the different ways that it might have gone, but I think that I'm likely incorrect. Another great part of it is that I've been able to keep an open mind, which has allowed me to meet a whole bunch of people I never would have got to meet otherwise. And also, I've found more positivity, which has made me happier. To conclude, you know how the HOBie's atmosphere helped me to realize where I was going wrong, with how easy and how terrible it is to judge others, as well as how it has positively influenced my life and choices. I'm grateful for my time at the 2015 HOBie Rally, for all that it's taught me, but even more so for the lesson I learned on my own.